It's on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey, welcome. Episode number 5, 12 Up Podcast. Got the same crew here, but we also have a special guest. His name is Octavion.
What up? What
White
up?
people, they call him Rob.
That's right.
Is it like Robert, like our R.
Slave
Kelly
name.
Robert?
Yeah, my slave name.
Your slave name? For real? You got a slave name?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's crazy.
So the people.
We all
call
do.
it.
You live in Oklahoma.
We all do. That's right. We all do. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Oh, you in Oklahoma, so
Yeah. Cool. I better watch out. I mean, no, that's how Pete Black Wall Street. Me on the watch.
Yeah. We go through the same rounds this week. Octavian just jumping in because actually we're bringing back the Affiliation podcast.
Yeah.
That'll be in a couple of weeks. Our first guest hopefully is going to be Chaz French.
Yeah.
I saw the new video. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
We'll talk about his new deal,
Yeah.
music industry stuff, love, relationships, children, baby mamas, baby daddies, everything, So I'll be coming back, and I just want him to get on the pod because we always have these interesting conversations. Same as you and I, Sean, and Lauren. You and I will have interesting conversations as well.
Yeah,
we will all have interesting conversations that will
Very
be,
much so.
giving babies of knowledge to the world. Like how Kanye interacts with Twitter, or how Elon Musk interacts with our U.S. government.
That's right.
Just a bunch of good stuff. Anyway, just jumping right into it. Lauren, what do we got? I'm letting you run the show. Do it.
Okay.
Run it.
We can start with. I don't know if y'all heard about. I feel like y'all didn't hear about it, but it's a law about. Give me 1 second. What was it called? I'm sorry.
Erections.
Conception Begins at Erection Act in Ohio, and basically they want people to start men to be accountable if they get a woman pregnant and then they don't want the baby and the woman ends up getting an abortion.
Interesting. Yo.
Men to get fined like oh really? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Not here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
you went out. So you were saying something about erections and abortion. Sorry.
Yeah. Erection. Wait, what is it? I should have wrote it down. I took some notes.
Pull up the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Just put it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Let's go log in your email, put it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, conception begins at erection. And it sounds crazy, but yeah. So like the first offense is apparently $1,000. Second is $5,000, and the third is a $10,000 fine. So they want people to just be more intentional when they're having sex.
More intentional.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy. I don't know. But it's in Ohio though. It's in Ohio.
I'm mad that you put on the spreadsheet huge state. This is not my state, people. I'm visiting. I own properties in many states.
That sounds like something from the 1700s. That's crazy.
Right.
I didn't check the YouTube video you sent.
It was
clip it up, but
it was from a news report in Ohio. So it's an actual thing.
Laws like this have been passed in other states. I know, like Texas and things like that, like conception laws. You know what I mean? So and it's mainly to prevent abortion. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, basically.
To stop it from even getting that far, which I don't. I'm not like a hardcore religious guy against abortion. But I'm not against that. I mean, I'm okay with all parties being held accountable. I mean, you should. You really shouldn't be out here, just raw dog and all the joints in the club. You really shouldn't be doing that. And then expecting them, in an emotional time to make a logical decision that you've then placed in their basket, literally, by impregnating them and then acting as if because you say I don't want it, they should abort it, which they should. But that's also a logical way of thinking, right? That's not the reality of how most women think, especially if they are pregnant, right? If their hormones are going and they're not really thinking about the logistics behind actually having a kid. They're just thinking about their want. So I do recognize that. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. But I could see that being a benefit in the long run if that's the goal of the state, to remove the amount of abortions that they are having to take care of.
Right.
then I could understand why that's necessary.
Well, you know what I want to.
Go ahead, Sean. Yeah,
No, sorry. No, I say, you know what I want to see? I want to see after about 10 years of this being in existence, the department that has to deal with this nonsense to try to collect on a fine for this. Like, first of all, I mean, I don't know. It's just too much source work to try to basically tie into a person like, oh, what was the circumstances? Well, she told me she was on birth control. There's so much plausible deniability in something like this. Like, it'd be a nightmare, but I don't know.
That is true.
It is a lot of. It definitely sounds like a lot of yellow tape. But again, maybe I'm only okay with it because I'm out of my period of doing that, right? So maybe I just do not have. I don't have a horse in the race, right? I would say though that if that's the goal, if the goal is to, lower the percentages of abortions by holding men accountable from the beginning, and therefore the choices and interactions that we all choose to make are a lot more thought out and intentional, then hey, man, that's how you're gonna get it. I guess we'll check, right? We'll see how it goes in a couple of years. I mean, I guess you got to do something, right? Because condoms ain't working.
Well, neither are prisons.
I mean, hey, you're right.
There's a charge for everything that you do, but education or access to knowing what raising a child entails in general, usually precludes people from making those decisions if they actually understand what it takes and what it endures. Most of these people that are doing this are not coming from a solid two-parent household in most cases, right?
Here we go.
No, it is. It's socioeconomic, bro. It's like it is. That's just my opinion as far as like the access to education resolves a lot of things because a lot of people learn in different ways. So having access to know what it is in the first place, like going to the store. Your parents back in the days tell you don't touch nothing, right? Don't touch nothing in the store, right? And then you start to have this effect of everywhere you go nice, right? You just have a different impression, like you don't even belong there, and so to speak. But if you've been around that and you know how that is, you can step into those rooms. You're educated on that. I think if you're educated on what a family entails, what buying a home, the process, the building assets, like. You don't make those decisions. You're still gonna have those frat parties or whatever goes on, but people are on birth control. The parents typically keep the kids on birth control, educate the kids. They understand what's going on.
What? Not to cut you off, but what happened to that program where the women used to have to take home the babies for a month?
Oh yeah.
I think that
that's home economics, right?
It was home ec. Yeah, home ec. I haven't seen that in a long time, but I think that needs.
They don't do nothing but cook cookies now and shit in that class. Right? I don't know. I ain't been to high school in a minute, so
an idea of what to expect when raising a child, as well as why you wouldn't want to do that alone as a woman,
right?
Why you wouldn't want to do that alone as a man, and that's not even financial, right? That's just showing them the effort and time and availability, and I think that alone will scare them enough. Continue to scare, because once you get that, I mean, once you have something that wakes up at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning for months on end, I think that you'll rethink your choices as to the commitment level that it takes for you to go through something like that, right?
Right.
And so I think they should bring that back first before all this
blaming erections,
penalties. Because you learn best from experience, right? So I mean,
that is true.
That's what I think. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say on this. I don't understand, nor does it affect me in any way. When I get an erection, it's very intentional. We're gonna have a baby, and if I shoot a blank, we're not. So
there you go.
It is what it is. Either way. All right. What's next? You get the hang of this, Lauren. Let's go.
So, you wanted me to say the next thing? Okay, yeah. So the next topic, I don't know if y'all probably heard about this one. The eggs, is a surge in the price of eggs. A dozen is about $7 to $8 now on average in the U.S.
Oh wow!
And apparently the bird flu caused this
kind of logistical
hiccup with eggs and everything. Yeah. So I know like certain stores are limiting you to only get like 1 dozen a day, or every purchase. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I forgot how long the first time it lasted when eggs went up in price, but
That was
bird flu
inflation
is
that
crazy.
did that. This
Oh.
time,
The
I know a
bird
little.
flu,
Yeah, I know a lot about this. So the bird flu is going around. Right now. There's no real solution. So birds are dying. Little hens are dying.
Mhm.
And I did notice, like about I guess 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, there was no eggs. I went to Costco's, and Costco
Oh
usually
yeah,
has eggs.
Costco. Yeah,
Nothing. All they had was
Yeah.
quail eggs. You know those little tiny ones.
yeah.
So all they had was that. They didn't even have like egg beaters or egg whites or any of that shit. None of that was
Yeah.
there. This week I went to the regular grocery store. They had a ton of eggs, and they were reasonably priced. Lauren, you said like $7-8. I guess because Ohio's cheaper because we have these erection laws. They're making all that money off the
Yeah.
off the
That's
erection
right.
Need your
laws.
your
So-
protein.
yeah, so they're bringing a lot of money so they could have cheaper eggs here in Ohio, I guess. But that
Yeah.
whole thing, I don't know. If it keeps going on, it'll really mess up our food because you got to think how many every fast food restaurant, every
Oh yeah.
grocery store, every regular restaurant, everything relies on some kind of egg product. Like bread needs to be made with eggs, right? For the most part. Your McMuffin, all that stuff in the morning that y'all like all that stuff is egg driven.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bird flu, I mean, it's crazy. I'm just right now. I don't know what's going on, but I've seen eggs. I don't. Do y'all been to the grocery
said
store
that-
lately?
Yeah. They. I was at Costco.
No.
They didn't have some. We did order some, but they said I was reading or I saw something, but they euthanize because they euthanize them. They don't necessarily die from the flu. They have to euthanize them to separate them from the rest. But 12 million hens were euthanized in January versus 40 million in a year when they had to do this before. So that's an indication of how many they're euthanized. If it keeps up like that, it's going to, basically quadruple what they did last time they had this issue. So this could be a huge issue, huge problem. It already is. But as long as eggs are still somewhat, I guess, affordable, because if you can buy a dozen for $7, that's better than going to Starbucks and buying one floppy egg sandwich for 12, right? So
Is that what it
as long
is
as-
now? I
Oh,
like
man.
their sandwiches.
It's like, yeah, they're like $8 or $9.
Yo, I like them joints. Those little egg souffles. I like them joints. They're good.
So what are those going to cost? That's going to be the issue.
right.
20 piece. That's crazy. And it only I don't know if I'm just not, it just doesn't relate. I saw the prices being a little bit higher. I was like, aren't these kind of normal? But then I'm like, maybe I'm a little out of touch. Because if it was like $20, I'd notice. Like,
Yeah.
But we're talking like it went from 4 to 7. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I always buy the
Right.
organic ones or whatever. So yeah, I like
That too.
yeah.
Ozempic and alcohol. What? Ozempic takes low doses of some national drink less and have reduced craving for alcohol. Oh yeah, that's true. Ozempic does. I just saw a thing come in saying Ozempic reduces your craving for alcohol. I don't have a craving for alcohol, but I don't drink as much as I used to since I've been on Ozempic.
Good for you.
I know, right? But according to Octavion, he says it's like eating my insides out and I'm gonna die. My stomach's gonna stop working. I'm gonna turn into
I hope not. I hope you don't.
He said, "I hope not." He sent me this. What was that? That pop singer on the
Yeah,
Ozempic?
she had like osteoporosis. She ended up with a bone.
Shorty, yeah, she was already skinny, and she wanted to lose another 20 pounds, and she got on this joint. And her stomach stopped working. I was like, her stomach stopped working because she don't eat. That's why she stopped working, bro.
Oh, I think I heard it. I think
What was her
I think I
name?
heard about that.
Destiny or something? What was her name?
That's fucking crazy. I don't know what the cause is behind it. It's probably side effects of people that are not supposed to be taking it or taking it for
Yeah.
reasons, right? But I don't know what it was. I made sure I said, "Yo, Hugh, son."
Yeah, he hit me. He sent me that joint. It was like, yo. He's like, "You okay? You okay? You okay?"
Yeah, bro, get off that shit. But again, I can't say shit because I'm over here hitting this vape. I didn't get off this damn nigga.
That'll make you feel. But no, Ozempic
Yeah.
and all those other drugs, they have different health benefits, and yes, everybody has different side effects. That's like any
Oh
drug.
yeah.
Yeah. So like if you're on anything, Honestly, I don't want to be on drugs. I never took drugs in my whole life, and when I was healthier, I felt. Well, you was around me when I was healthier, Sean. I used to drink gallons of vodka, eat everything I wanted.
I know we
and
had some times.
I used to run the street, like up and down the street, running marathons and shit. Life catches up, and you want to, sometimes the cheeseburger is more important than the health, I guess. Sad to say.
Most times.
Well, you have to indulge. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is it? Look, some people eat what they want and they live until 90. Some people are health nuts and die at 45 from lung cancer. Shit happens.
Or drop dead
crazy.
from playing. Like I've seen these healthy motherfuckers just drop dead, have a heart attack. It's genetic.
Like cardiac arrest randomly, standing there.
Randomly. Like, oh shit, you had this clog in your artory that you always had since you were 12 years old. My cousin, NBA, he had a bad heart, and he like total health picture of health. Freaking had to go get surgery. He made a comeback and ended up winning a chip. But I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. Like you're perfectly healthy, and then they find out your heart's just not working right.
Superman fell off a horse and got paralyzed. He was about to take off. With
not really. Christopher Reeves is an actor. It's not Superman.
But I'm just saying, it's an oxymoron. Superman fell off a horse and got paralyzed, right? So it's like one of those things where he's supposed to be right. This, that, and the other prime of his life, riding horses and shit, doing jumps, and then he falls off and gets paralyzed, never walks to get a day in his life. Game over. So
going crazy.
Speaking of oxymoron, one of these dumbasses. So I've been putting up the clips of the show. Nothing's gone crazy, but I had a good little back and forth with somebody on one of the clips on TikTok. This woman put that thing about Ye or Kanye and how Elon Musk and Kanye are really like dumb people. And most of the commentary was like, how can they be dumb? They're so wealthy. And it's like, intelligence isn't measured by money. I mean, don't get it twisted. We in America. We have to deal with, that being a measurement, like fame and people having certain types of talents and shit like that. Like, there's a girl who made a lot of money, like on OnlyFans for having sex with 1,000 men. Is she the most intelligent person because she's got a lot of money and did all this with 1,000 men? Or is Kanye, like, just because he could turn shitty garments into wealth, like, is he intelligent? Like, I've always respected Kanye, except we'll talk more about him later, but I'm more or less like in this thing where, like, intelligence, we lose this the idea of what intelligence really means or is, like, it's no longer Albert Einstein, it's now just idiots with money who have a platform. Joe Rogan. Can anybody say here that Joe Rogan's intelligent?
All right, so
no, he's quiet. He even says he's a fucking idiot, but people say he's intelligent. I don't know. That
may be part of his genius.
Oh,
I think
this man said no. Hey, no, do not listen. Do not enable this. That's dumb. That's just dumb to say. That's not. There's no one. He's not smart. There's not no.
Intelligence is like when you say Albert Einstein, things just shift. Different things.
That's not.
It's
oh my God.
People are creative. People are creative, and people are intelligent. People are smart. People are intuitive. People are all these things, and sometimes they're individually those things, and it just applies to them getting into a situation that
exactly. That's what I was going to say. I think that's what she's trying to say is strategically they are intelligent.
No, they're not.
How can
you be strategically intelligent?
You trust me.
Well, I'll say this because Elon is not necessarily intelligent, but his strategy for the way that he has gotten to where he is at could not have been achieved.
They're two different things.
Well, I agree, but I think that's what she was trying to get at. Like, you're saying that they're not smart, and I think smart is subjective in this conversation. But I think Kanye West leans into his strategy. He may not be a nigga that could tell me what's 5 times 5 times 20, but he can understand within his realm of strategy how he should be moving with his particular brand and how it meets the world. That's all Elon did as well. Figured out his particular brand, his particular niche, who he's doing things for, surrounded himself by the proper people to expound on those ideas. And in that fashion, it makes him smart. But the nigga isn't necessarily intelligent. He's not like one of the fucking, I think And I think, it's kind of coming to what you're saying too. There's a difference, but I think to the human eye, to the basic human eye, fame equals money because of the opportunity that they have used to create the money, not necessarily their ability to be smart in an average conversation.
So do you think we reward? Because it goes back to what they were talking about the H-1 visas. Remember Vivek? I don't know if you guys are following this, but Vivek
Yeah.
Ramaswamy was tweeting out about how we worship jocks and actors and actresses in the U.S. Why don't we start giving props to the nerds? Now Vivek Ramaswamy, I guess he's a pretty smart guy, but he's also kind of a nerd and kind of a loser. But if you think about loser, not in life. Right, he's winning in life. He's a billionaire. He scammed me. He had that medical. He did some kind of like pharmaceutical scam and became a billionaire off of that. We need to look into that. Maybe we get some pharmaceuticals going. But but like his whole like that idea of like, oh, we don't worship nerds or whatever. It's good. Nerds aren't always cool. Like I watch Big Bang Theory. I don't want to be none of those guys on that show. You watch Big Bang Theory, any of you? I just started watching it.
None of that matters. None of that matters. Money
matter.
talks.
No, it does matter. But you have to understand that when people, the intelligent, and like back royalty and all of that stuff, and even people in positions of power, their children were well learned. They spoke different languages. They went to school in different countries. They learned things. Now they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy a gym at Harvard and put my name on it, and you better push my son or daughter through and make sure that they just get the degree and get out of there. And they're all dumbasses.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's been happening since the beginning of time. There was a lot of dumbasses. There was a lot of dumbasses that were classically trained pianists and could speak multiple languages and went through all these schools, but they were still dumbasses and didn't accomplish anything in life, right? The people that take advantage of the access that they have are the ones that make it. And then when you have the power,
but they're not taking advantage of it. They're not learning it. All they're doing is taking advantage of the privilege that they had, like the what we said, like born on third base, and you know what I mean.
Okay, so let's take that theory.
That's privilege. That's not access. So access. I mean, you know what I mean. It's privilege. It's privilege. Access is privilege. Whatever.
Access is a privilege.
Yeah. I agree, and I think that the smart person is the one that takes advantage.
Yeah.
Of the opportunity, because there's a nigga playing better than Jordan right now in his backyard. But won't get his ass in front of no agents. When we say that just because he's playing better than Jordan, it's not a smart move not to go get in front of the agents and cash in on your opportunity. So this is why I say it's kind of like a double-headed coin when it comes to genius, right? Because I believe Kanye West is a genius to a certain degree. I think that his ability to not allow walls around his brain allows him to try a lot more and fail a lot more, which gets him closer to the goal a lot sooner. And I think that there's a guy that's smarter than Kanye in every aspect of his life, but does not have the ability to break the walls of his brain to allow him to try, to allow him to fail, and to allow him to cash on the opportunity. So that is kind of where I see like the point in someone being able to say Elon Musk is smart. Not because he's textbook smart or traditionally smart, but he has found a way to move past all the things that normal people feel every single day somehow. Whether that's vengeance, right? I was telling you that everything I've ever done for the last 5 years has been powered purely on revenge. Nothing else. No strategy, no smart, it is all revenge. But at some point, when you get to that point where it's like, okay, now we got to actually think smart and intentional about our decisions, right? So I think, a lot of that's the reason why people say turn that fuel when they say you can't turn it into nightmare fuel, that you can. It's like those cheesy things, right? But I think it can just be defined as smart in a certain aspect. Depends on how you're applying it and how far you go with it. But that is no means does that say Kanye West could do a math problem.
It's not even about math. It's just about understanding things. Like, don't speak on things that you don't understand.
I agree.
And that's part of the problem. That's why people are so dumb. They take what he says, what Elon says, what Joe Rogan says, and they take it as word, as fact, because they have these platforms, and they're like, and the thing, like I said, I think it's a part of American idealism too, where we think that, hey, because these people are here at this level, that they must know what they're doing. They made it. There's so many ways to get rich in America that it doesn't matter. You could, like, right now, the biggest, like the OnlyFans phenomenon, right? Like these girls, random girls from the suburbs making it on OnlyFans. But you know, the majority of the girls on OnlyFans don't make that much money. And the majority of the people on TikTok or Instagram don't make as much money that are trying to be influencers. They have to understand how to play the game.
I told you. That's
we
the
even
same.
have
I told
the
you.
resources.
It's the dope game.
Sean, you collectively right now, between you and I, arguably a few $1 million worth of money, right? But we're still trying to figure out how to crack the code of making a fucking podcast. No, but I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
Listen,
and then an idiot can go on there, talk about spitting on a dick, and then gets $1 million podcast deal out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the problem with America.
And then hustles people out of Bitcoin, right? Like,
Right.
or out of crypto, or whatever.
Yo.
Well, but I guess the point
crazy.
is we should be equating money to opportunity, not money to smarts. And I agree with you that just because they have a platform does not mean they're smart. It just means that they cash in on opportunity. And I think that, that's why I don't idolize any of these people, because I may respect an aspect of what they do or how they do it, but that doesn't mean that they are a molecule smarter than me or dumber than me. They're just a person that cashed in on opportunity. But again, you're right. Most people equate the availability of money and equaling it to their smarts, right? And that's not necessarily the case, because like you said, even in the OnlyFans thing, I mean, one could say that the girl that slept with 1,000 guys could be smart at how she created her opportunity to get millions of dollars on OnlyFans, because no one else decided to do that. So it comes down to, they may have smart moments. That does not mean they're smart people. And I think the more that we can just accept that Elon Musk had a smart moment creating Tesla, that does not make him.
He didn't create Tesla. He bought it.
Bought it and rebuilt it and relaunched it and whatever.
Yeah.
But Jeff Bezos, one could say he was smart for seeing an opportunity.
He is smart.
I mean, I think he was smart for seeing an opportunity.
No, he is. He created something that it was selling books and then turned it into e-commerce and then turned it into what it is today. But they also, there's so many facets to why he's a brilliant guy for what he did. It's even like, look at Bill Gates with Microsoft. He bought the technology, but he understood how to build on top of it, market it properly. He stole a lot of the ideas, but still, he was brilliant for doing it. And it doesn't take much to understand it, but guys like I said, like Kanye or and like Musk, I'm very critical of those two, because they understand how to market. Yes, they also, and I'll give them credit because they do understand one or two facets of what it takes to be successful in the fields that they are, like design, manufacturing. Elon is definitely innovated there, but I don't. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe I'm looking. They just need to shut the fuck up about politics.
Yeah, they need to.
That's what bothers me about this the most. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to politics and things of that nature.
That's really what it is. Like, you guys think that because you know one facet of something, that you now can be the spokesperson for all things that you care about, and you don't realize that even though the things you care about may not be correct when you're spewing them back in the public. So I agree with your statement there, and that's why I don't talk about things like that, because there are some things I do not know. Even I may feel this way or that way. I'm still open to learning and understanding more, and I'm not going to use my platform to educate somebody on something I don't 100% know. And that's it. Now we get to talk about some other shit that I know based on experience. That's why you can't really talk to Kanye about music.
Kanye's crash out.
Everything else is like, yo, Kanye, bro. Even the fashion thing, it's like,
no,
a little limited. Your reach is still a little limited, and you've admitted that. But no one would question Kanye about music. He's been in music for 20 years.
Did y'all follow his Twitter tirade this weekend?
I did some of it. We discussed some of that offline, and kudos to him for having a free mind. Just very disappointing to like kind of just see the way some of these people think about issues that may be critical to you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't respect a lot of that stuff. I do respect his ability to speak freely, but I don't agree with some of that, and almost to the point where I wouldn't even want to be friends with someone that agrees that in certain aspects of what he said. So, and I think that's the uproar. The uproar is, you look at this guy your whole life, maybe not his whole life, but your whole life, and you think that he stands for one particular thing based on the product he presents to the world. Then you get behind the scenes and you see how he really feels when he tweets things he tweets, and it's just like, oh, this guy's disgusting. He's really not who he presented himself to be. It's almost like the girl that you've been wanting for years, trying to get her back from the club, and her makeup is off, and now you got a problem with what you see. It's that like, damn, bro, you're not even the bad joint I thought you was. The whole time I'm looking over you for 4 years, and you're not even all that. So I think that's kind of the shock that the fans are going through.
Are they? I mean, this is not the first time he's done some shit like this.
It's not, but I think it is. This is the first time it has been so unapologetically blatant. Before he pop shit, apologize, nigga, just ass kiss. Okay. Now there's no apologies. This is how I really feel. I'm not gonna play nice in the public, and I think that leaves people, unsettled. The fact that this guy
he did try to come back and say I love everybody or something. What did he say? I love everybody or something.
Yeah, but not with the swap.
After he started feeling sympathetic towards Kodak Black, that's when he kind of toned it down.
Oh, Kodak. Oh, yeah, that looked. Yeah.
I mean, he was eating chicken in the middle of the street. He could have been in New Orleans. What was that all about? I didn't think that was anything serious. I don't know.
I mean, Kodak's been having problems for
he's on all the drugs. He's on all the drugs, but he was just courtside at some basketball game chilling. So he got money. He's doing all right, right? He's smart. He's doing it. But with Kanye, I don't know, Lauren. What do you think about it? Because I know you've been very quiet. We were sending back all the Nazi stuff and everything this weekend. You didn't respond back once. So
no, I saw it today. I looked at it.
Our text message thread on mute or something like that.
Yeah,
you look at it right before the
show. I thought it was pretty wild. He just, I don't know, saying all that stuff. I mean, but that's him. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree, but it's entertaining. And then you got your people who's gonna ride for him regardless, still gonna wear his merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I'm not too big on Kanye. I did enjoy Kanye, like the older version of him. Like, this new stuff is pretty wicked. Even like him having his wife go to the Grammys with her stuff out, her boobs out. I get it, he wanted to be like the most searched apparently, and it worked, but it's still like it's not appropriate. You have daughters, but this is just my opinion. Like,
what about the children? Yeah,
so,
he's got daughters. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's what really kind of hit. I don't have kids, but I wouldn't want my kids seeing me literally crash and burn out like that on social media.
Yeah.
Saying all of the crazy stuff was like where he was talking about making Jews slaves and talking about beating women and all this stuff. I'm like, yo, keep it to yourself, yo. Like, and then the whole freaking, he did the Super Bowl commercial, took all the merch off the website and just put a t-shirt with a swastika on it. And like,
well, see, here's the thing. Look, as long as we live in a capitalistic society where money rules all things, and
how many people bought that shirt here?
No, I'm just gonna make this point. As long as we live in that type of people are not gonna care. As long as we live in that type of society, this is gonna be a story for now. Everybody's gonna move on. Kanye's gonna drop an album. Shit's gonna do crazy. He's gonna have another line. Everything's gonna be fine. And I say this all the time. Is like,
well, he lost his Shopify account. They're gonna have to.
And he lost the Adidas thing, and then he became a billionaire again. All this other after the first rant and all. But the thing about it is, like I say all the time, when you go to the ATM machine and you take out cash, every single person on that bill, slaved, murdered, captured, took shit. Yeah. Like, and our whole system is based on that.
Yeah, but they didn't say it on Twitter.
It didn't have to be said on Twitter.
Yeah, but still, society was different. Remember,
lives were lost. Lives were literally lost. What Kanye said and whatever, no lives were taken based on what he said. But
also, society was different back then. Slavery was legal. There was things that were more socially acceptable. And even up to like 1960, like lynching black people wasn't a thing.
Slavery's still illegal. The prison system. No,
I'm saying like if you wouldn't get canceled for it, you wouldn't lose your livelihood over it. Like you could go down south back in even today maybe there'll be motherfucking people. You could go kill a black person in the middle of the street and still get off on. They almost did that in Georgia with that man.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why what he said which is vulgar and crazy, and I don't agree with it either. But what he said will not change anything as far as the dynamic when it comes to him and how he continues to grow and make his money. It won't change anything. This is going to be over.
He's losing all the outlets though. The thing is, you have to play the game to win.
He did. They had his Apple.
Even Elon Musk can't deny that.
They had his accounts. They had his. He went through this exact same thing. His accounts were frozen. Okay, he lost the Adidas deal. They said he was no longer a billionaire. He got down to like 300 million. Now he's worth 2.77 apparently.
Yeah, he gained like another 500,000 million dollars of wealth.
Kanye's at a point where he can insulate himself and still produce and make money. He's off the grid.
Yeah, you should do that because.
But I heard. Oh, go ahead, Octavion. No, you got it.
I don't. It's back to what you were saying. When you got kids, man, some of this shit is just unacceptable. And you're supposed to be, part of being a man is knowing when the environment, reading the room. And I think he is so emotional due to the things that have transpired in his life, losing your mama and doing, all the things he's gone up and down. That he is not, and obviously he has mental issues as well, that whether he addresses sometimes doesn't, I don't know. But I think when you got kids, man, it's no longer about you. It's no longer about what you want to say, how you want to act. You agree in that fine print that the label gives you where it says put niggas on from your city. But in the contract with your family, you say, I'm going to honor and bring nothing but honor and good vibes and good energy and good karma and opportunity and strength and support and respect on the name of our family. Even if this is how you feel behind it's one thing if niggas recorded you behind the crib, behind closed doors. That's different. What you're saying to your mans, or you think that you're in the confidence, but you're just out here spewing this kind of stuff, and then you're going to go to sleep. Then the people that follow you are going to either regurgitate this nonsense, continue this kind of agreeance of this bullshit, and it's just not going to help anyone but him. And I feel like we're in a very sensitive social moment with the president. And it's one thing if he said, I want all my black folks to come together, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
They would do it if he said it. That's the thing.
Exactly. And you're not using your platform to do that. You're just disrespecting people. Instead of allowing your moments to count for something. You are allowing it to be selfish and narcissistic and abusive and disrespectful and just completely. And then to me, that's what I don't respect about it. It's like, if I had a platform that big, I would be trying everything that I can to do things for my people. The people that you say are marginalized every single day. Every rant you go on, black people this, black people that. Okay, so what are you doing with your platform that you accuse the Jews of doing with theirs to lift each other up, put each other on? Why are you not doing that? You have to become the change you wish to see. That's how I feel.
But some of the stuff he was saying, where he was talking about Farrakhan and even Puffy, like I can understand. I saw a moment of clarity there almost. I mean, never mind Puff, but it's like, oh yeah, free Puff. They put another, mind you, he's still pending a court case. But then he did like a 180, and then he started saying, yo, Puff, it's all right to beat up women, and he put the video up of him beating up Cassie, and then like it's crazy. I'm like, how are you? First you're saying free this man, then you're like, yo, it's all right. They must be in love because if you're willing to beat up your girl like that and she comes back to you, you must be in love. Like that's crazy shit. That you know what I mean? And then he has like the whole rant about like obviously he's talking about like disrespecting women, the whole thing about the Jews and everything. It was just crazy. I couldn't. I took it all in, and then like the porn stuff, I was like, damn, he's finding all the good porn and everything while he's going through the thing. And I'm like, how are you doing this all at once? And it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, and it just stopped. He just stopped like after a few more things.
And it's like you're not thinking about the people you employ, the opportunities.
Oh, I heard a lot of them walked out.
Yeah,
like,
because
a lot of employees left.
How can you? You're not Kanye. I'm not Kanye. Kanye can do these narcissistic things and still be Kanye. But if I work for Kanye, if I want my career to continue after he implodes and we all go down, I have to think about myself, my future, what I represent, what people are going to be looking at on my resume. And this is what matters because other people don't have Kanye money. These people are just normal people, just trying to pay their bills, take care of their family, and move forward with their careers. And this is why I feel as though he's not a true leader. Because a true leader considers the outcome of all involved in the relationship before they make their move. So again, if he was at the crib in Malibu and niggas recorded him and he's saying all this disrespectful shit, that's one thing. I'm not going to fault him for that. But by you publicly going on the platform, welcoming the hate, and then you go on the group chat and you say, I am Hitler. You guys are working for a Nazi. Anybody that doesn't care. I mean, it's just like you really believe these things. Like, I just don't. It's like you're saying it just to get under people's skin because there's no way that you can believe that being reincarnated as someone that committed a genocide. I mean, I don't give a fuck who was it against. I don't give a fuck if it was, Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I wonder if he's using the Charleston White effect.
Charleston White ain't that crazy. Charleston White is
Charleston
not
White
that
said no. Charleston White said some
bro.
You can go some videos. No, you can go back some videos where he's saying some crazy shit. He's saying some crazy shit. No, he's saying
but what Charleston White says is
he's
like,
done this. Oh, go back to
no.
I can't agree with the fact that he's literally been on video filming himself, which I feel like is even a deeper visceral feeling. If you see words are one thing, he literally is filming, and I mess with Charleston White because I think Charleston White, as far as taking that approach to get attention and then shifting it to where people will pay attention, I appreciate the fact because he does this. He has background in community work and all of that, so he has a foundational element into that. So I appreciate
most of the stuff he said.
Shit. But he was starting off and he was saying some diabolical shit. I mean, diabolical shit.
Yeah, but he was talking about rappers killing themselves and all this other nonsense.
Not even just that.
He's talking about women. But look, that is something,
But I wonder, though, is there – look, and I don't want to give Kanye more credit than he deserves. I think ultimately that approach, even if it works, if that's your plan, is still pretty wild and crazy. But the problem is a foundational issue with our culture and our society nowadays, especially with the young kids. As soon as a kid has access to TikTok, all this stuff that you can give on a day-to-day basis, trust me, they're seeing, it's all kind of nonsense, all kind of situations. And that's really what they're doing now. That's what's different than when we grew up. We were outside. We were riding bikes. We were in the basketball courts.
Yeah.
We actually were... Yeah, we were building relationships amongst ourselves. Now everything's crowdsourced and there's just topics, right? So we're told what to talk about. We talked about what was going on in our life. You go see your boy, yo, man, you hear about such, like you talk about what's going on in each other's world. You ask your kid now, if you have a son, is going to be 12. I say, hey, ask him stuff about his friends. Oh, does he have any siblings? Do they have I don't know. We used to know everything. Oh yeah, sister, you'd see, everybody be around at a young age, right? So it's just different now,
I have this is weird. I just thought about this. Do you think that this rhetoric that Kanye is spitting out is breeding a generation of young black men and possibly women who want to be Nazis? And if he does make this coalition of black Nazis, that'll be interesting to see happen. Imagine
black
that.
Skinheads, the black skinheads.
Black skinheads. Is there such a thing?
Well, he had that.
Will they cooperate? Will they work with the white Nazis?
I think not because remember he released that song Black Skinhead.
I remember that. Yeah.
And that was kind of that him kind of stepping into that kind of realm. Right? I don't think that they would work closely with the whites unless the white the white supremacists. I mean, the white Nazis.
Yeah. Well, I want to
Um,
say, well, the ideologies are the same, but the skin color is different.
But they don't like the blacks either. They don't like blacks. They don't like gays.
Yeah,
They don't
sure.
like Jews, and they don't like. There's something else. I mean, they
Do
just.
you think he can co-opt
Disabled, nothing.
disabled?
Yeah,
all
I
of
think
that.
maybe
Gypsies, they hate gypsies too. Remember that?
Well, I mean, a lot of people hate gypsies.
Well, yeah, it's true. Anyway, no. Where was I going with this?
You said could he formulate this? Is what you were saying? If
No.
he was,
Oh God, I had this.
you were
With
saying
the
co-op.
co-opt it, yes, but can he take it? Like we were talking about. Like I think I was talking to one of my friend Kenny about this, taking like the swastika and turning it into a symbol of black unity.
I don't think so because black people do not. Let me tell you something, man.
Mhm.
I think the level of hate that you would. I think spending your life hating. I think, for the most part. I mean, obviously, I can't speak for every black person, but I think there is really no value in the way that white supremacists or any supremacist, any type of nationality that is in supremacy of other nationalities. I think that most black people realize the odds are already stacked against them, just in general, just generally speaking. And I think anyone that finds power and unity in hate is not going to reach the goals that they hope to achieve. I think the only way this is just my belief, and that's just kind of the way that I've lived my life, is the only way to achieve anything is partnership that is rooted in respect and support and understanding. And
You living in the wrong country, bro.
most importantly, functionality. I think hate is not a functionality. And I think
Well, the foundations of this country were built on even they hated the British monarchy so much that they overthrew the government. They created, yes, a democracy that's for the most part, but they also had slavery, which was built on top of hate and prejudice, segregation, all the laws that we have that are, prejudice, even, the concept of free speech in a way kind of gives the green light to some of these types of people like Kanye or Elon, whoever, to tote that line because we have the free speech to say what we want, joke about it or whatever, right? Which is fine, but again, people are dumb for the most part, and they'll look at these things and take them literally, and that's why I bring up the concept of, hey, can we flip around with the like we took the word like the N word, let's say, right? And then that we flipped it into almost a term of endearment amongst black people. But obviously white people want to say it so badly. We got to get a white person to talk about that on here. Like, why do y'all want to say that word so badly? So like you just want to put it in your vernacular. You want to sing every song about the nigga this, nigga that. You just want to say it all day. But my point is with this is that if we can flip around things that were negative towards us and just turn them into our everyday, even though, yes, the older generation might like it, even some of the newer generation, I try to not say it as much. We got, Asian people working at our company saying it crazy, but there's a lot, I'm just joking. But there's so much, like if those things can happen, right? Like it's not so far out to think that symbol can change. And maybe Nazis will look at it differently, like, damn, these niggas and took it over. We can't use it no
the
more.
Black Church bought Proud Boys. They bought the Proud Boys.
Oh,
really? I didn't know about that. Damn.
Yeah, they
give
did.
Me a Proud Boys t-shirt now.
They bought that logo. But again, I mean, to your point, anything's possible, right? But will the Jewish community allow that?
Well, that's
and
the
what
key.
Is what
that's the key. It's not ours to turn into a positive.
Can we admit that the ADL is a joke at this point? Because they always look. Elon Musk made 2 anti-Semitic pretty much statements within the same week, and they were just like, "Oh, Elon, you're fine." Ilham Omar talks about the government of Israel, being all about money, and they said that's anti-Semitic because that's a trope against Jews. No, it's a trope against a government who's all about money.
Yeah,
right. Which she said that.
Which they actually show that
exactly.
Yeah.
The things that I mean, look, Kanye definitely anti-Semitic, whatever. I'll give him that. But they're like cancel. Whenever a black person, Kyrie Irving, putting that book that he wrote, the movie that I watched that whole documentary. Yeah, Hebrew Israelites and all that type of shit. Differing of opinion on where the original people came from, which is fine in my book. But yes, it might be quote unquote anti-Semitic against white Jews. But there are also black Jews, and I think a lot, they might look at that and say, "Hey, this is sort of where I'm at in life, and I believe in that." But of course, he almost lost his contract. He got traded. He had to go donate money and volunteer as punishment.
Yeah.
What are they doing with Elon Musk? What's he doing? Or any of these guys, like what is Trump when he makes those? Trump went.
But they don't own Elon. They own
Trump went in front of a bunch of Jewish people talking about, "Hey, I love doing business with you Jews. You guys are real good businessmen. I love money. Blah 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 blah." He says all this shit in front of a bunch of Jewish people.
Well, this goes back to my point about
ADL,
the
man.
power. I mean, but just in general, the power at certain levels, right? There's certain things that people. They can be direct in your face. It can be behind the scenes. It can be however the case is. You know who they are. You know what the situation.
Can't we see that now with
families.
those types of organizations, NAACP, all this stuff? Like, I don't understand. These things are here to protect, the vulnerable from these things. ADL. How much? I mean, look, behind the scenes, I know they probably do a lot of things. Court cases, like giving people legal representation, all types of stuff. But when they open their mouth or don't open their mouth, it seems to be about random shit that really, totes the line of like the free speech and all this other stuff. Like if organizations like ADL, NAACP, whatever, they should really, really level up and understand that, they should really put center stage. Ooh, dog. Sorry, my dog is here. Some of this stuff, like some of the things where they actually help people, right? Like really showcase that rather than going after the lowest, the low-hanging fruit of celebrity or rich person. Because these people are gonna get away with whatever the fuck. You just tell them like, "Yo, you say that shit, we'll scold you," but they have to be, equal opportunity fucking accusers of that stuff, because they seem to go a little harder on black people when or people of color when they say something that's they deem anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
I don't like. I never did expect.
It's easier to win that battle for them. It's easier to win that battle. So you're right. It is low hanging fruit, and that's why black folks got to be mindful when you're not in control of the system. The money controls everything. So, and that's why I have a big issue with what Kanye is doing, because black people do not have enough money to defend themselves like Kanye does. So to spew that kind of rhetoric, it's almost like the women that say, I want a dude that's 6 foot tall and he makes $200,000 a year just because the celebrities do it. You're not the celebrity that's requesting that. You are the average woman. And you should be dealing with the average man. Just keeping it real. So, I'm not trying to say what people should and shouldn't do. The way
society, wait. Let's take a step. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Well, let's set aside all the other stuff. Do you fit all the characteristics of what these women want?
I wouldn't say all. I mean, I make.
So you mad?
I'm mad. I make the brand. I make the.
Hey, Lauren. What's more appealing to you? I'm not saying, I don't know if you're broke or not. I don't know your money situation, but I'm going to use the term. Yeah. I'm not going to use you as an example, Octavian, because I'm just going to say a short guy who's broke or a tall guy who has money.
Of course, a tall guy who has money, but if he's short and he has money, that's cool too. But like he said, no, listen.
If he's short and has money, that's
I'll get short, but everything else,
okay.
Like he said, though,
he said he's short, that's cool too.
He said, the average woman, the average woman should get the average man, and I agree with that.
That's not.
But definitely,
I don't believe in that.
Well, you shouldn't settle, but
you shouldn't settle.
If you're gonna,
set up. You're not, the average man's not going to be in the celebrity circles. The celebrity's going to be in the celebrity circles.
Yeah, you're not
So,
going to get. Yeah. No.
her expectations for what she can call for is a lot different than Becky over here from Southside. She's not going to get what Belinda, has been in Hollywood 10 years. Her expectation is just different. So it's the same thing. Kanye can be Kanye and still go to sleep as Kanye. The people that are putting themselves in a position as him, receiving this rhetoric, do not have the money, the resources, the time to put up the fight like he can, based on what he's saying. And that's the same implication I put into these social constructs of the expectations of who you follow and what you listen to, because it's not realistic. You say what Kanye said, and you're gonna get your ass whooped.
No, I know it's not realistic, but I also reality and so what we see on social media are two different things. And I tell my wife and I argue. I'm kind of on your side, but I also understand that if you're idealistic and want certain things, that's the way my wife frames it. You're gonna go get them, right? She wants a tall guy with money. She got a tall guy with money. And I don't have a lot of money. I'm doing well, not as well as I could be.
How tall are you?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm taking Lauren. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was just relationship too.
I'm 6 feet. I'm joking.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
6 feet. And Sean is what, 6'3"?
6'3", yeah.
6'3".
Okay, I'm 5'6".
You're 5'6"? Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just saying, like that standard that people want, and most the average height is like 5'7", right, for men, on the average, and the average wallet is $50,000, $54,000 a year, and if you think the majority, it's funny, majority of the people in this country aren't even at that average height and
it's a median
and wallet. And it's just the average because there's so many people, wealth distribution, a lot of, and it goes, like looks and money and opportunity and all that stuff go hand in hand. So you'll get a pretty tall girl will get more opportunity than a short, ugly girl. A tall, it doesn't even matter. A tall guy with money doesn't have to look good or anything. Like men have this thing where we don't have to look like, we can look like shit. I see who's the owner? One of these sports teams owners looks like a gremlin, and his wife is like a super. The coach for Belichick, Bill Belichick. Did you see his wife? His girlfriend, whoever she is?
Yeah.
Freaking Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, the women that they just got pregnant and had babies with are freaking supermodels.
Yeah, because
I'm like,
they get that
and
money.
they're short and got
that
that
money.
money.
Got that
Just
money.
like Lauren said, they can be tall or short and have money, and that's good.
Yeah,
but it's to women out there, it's delusional. It's delusional thinking because not all of us got money.
It's not even that, bro. It's just simple math. If there are 100,000 women that want these qualifications, but there's only 1,000 men that meet these qualifications, we have to be realistic about it.
More like 10 for every 100,000. Not even, maybe like
not
for every 100,000.
That's why I always say from the beginning of time, these are lies. I have never had a problem getting women. I have been 5'5", even when I was short, growing to 5'5". And when I was 5 feet, and I was 20 years old or 19 years old.
You're still growing when you were 20?
I have never had a problem, ever. And it's just lies. It's just like, I need a man that's, but no, you don't. Because I was broke and I was 5 feet.
Well, that's just having game, having a good mouthpiece.
I agree.
Being able to talk to women.
And that's different too. They don't include that though, right? See, they don't.
But that's different. I mean, that's different than expectation. Some women are steadfast, like they don't fall for game. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to sit there and go home with a broke dude, whether he's short or tall. They understand what they're there for. And look, you can see we've been out where these girls are looking left and right at could be the most good-looking guy or whatever. They know where the money is. It's crazy, and they know it's so crazy. We used to go when I started making good money and I be hanging with this guy. Dog, we didn't even have to. This is how you know somebody got money. They're not getting tables. We're buying bottles of champagne at the bar, right? We're not getting a table because we don't want to be at a table. We want to have fun and party. Yo, dog, let me tell you, there would be a
just line them up.
You remember? We went out one time. They closed off a section for us. He ordered like 3 bottles of champagne at the bar. They were like, "Do you want a table?" He was like, "Nah, I'm still chilling. I'm hanging out." They took the ropes and put it around there. They put ropes around us. bro.
how
And
to
and people came to us.
You have to walk
the way it
around just
happens.
with like just have it. Yeah, I mean, I just
But
the point is to have fun. I mean,
yeah, it's to have fun, but also, brother, got game. We could talk to women, talk to people in general. We kept people like that around us, and it's weird because I've hung out with tons of people with money, and they don't know how to. They're not that socialized, and they don't have that understanding of like what makes the girl who wants the money and the girl who doesn't want the money around you. We got them all in the same section. So that's all game, and that's easy. That's easy. But like at the end of the day, if you're trying to pull one of these idealistic chicks, it's harder. It's harder to like understand the way they tick, and you have to kind of be in the same mindset. Like, yeah, I'm willing to take care of you. I'm willing, and that's that whole like fresh and fit and all that other nonsense. And then, but like, there's I kind of feel like and I'll use my wife as an example. She's one of those, but she also is not like. I wouldn't throw her in that gold digger category because she understands how to work and she has an education and all that. She just says, I want this type of man. And she's steadfast on getting in, and she was lucky enough to find this sucker. And I'm here right now. I'm here right now. But like, it's all relative. And then, and girls now, they're just all fucked up from social media. I don't even understand.
And that's the point. That's what it brings it home, right?
Yeah.
It is social media because I was outside. I was in the club. I was pulling joints in real life, not even on no.
Yeah.
I'm just standing there, the shortest cat in the whole crew. Whole crew, 6 feet. Juan, all them, Sean, I'm 6 feet, 6 feet.
Juan,
6 feet. I'm the shortest guy in the camp. And the girls will come up and say, Juan, I want the little one. It's like not a problem. So
let him climb this mountain.
Not a problem. So again, bro, one day we'll get into the escapades of.
Look. We all have had a life before we got married and kids and stuff.
And again, I always used to say they have girlfriends because I had one. If I didn't have one, they didn't fucking have one me. And that's it. And that's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, I do think, social media has, and that's why I agree with kind of the Fresh and Fits and the Kevin Samuels, and those they're necessary to level set, regardless if they don't like who's saying it, how they're saying it. It is important because they are outnumbered. The woman is outnumbered. So at some point when y'all are 45 and y'all looking around and say 700 of us ain't got no man, we're gonna have to make some decisions.
But look at the men that follow these dudes though.
Yeah, they're simps. They're clowns.
They're not. They're not. And they pay for OnlyFans girls. They pay for prostitutes. They don't understand.
They're not who the women want.
They buy self-help books and shit. Like I've never ever read a self-help book in my fucking life. I don't even know what that means. Like help your fucking self. That's the best way to help you. Go outside, touch the grass. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Even now, I mean, because you're right. I think it's I think that the criteria that women will want in the future when the social media bubble bursts and it becomes real, right? Because my generation is now coming to the, we were one of the first on the internet, like right after you guys. 2003, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, you guys lived on that shit. You had your laptops and shit, and then the phones came along, all that shit.
They're now coming to the realization of, oh man, I don't know if that guy is ever going to come and knock on the door and save me and my 2 kids. I'm going to have to be realistic. I
think all women come to that conclusion at some point.
Yeah, they do. And that's why this new generation that's on social media now, in 10 years, they will come to that realization.
So wait, Lauren, when are you going to come to the realization you're going to get a good fry cook from McDonald's who cares about you and settle down?
It ain't going to be that. But, I recently came to that conclusion, so I'm just seeing where this goes.
I think
also you're in a relationship. I'm sorry.
It's new. It's really new.
Oh, it's really
new.
Yeah. No, but you got being in that, you got to understand. Men try to do that, especially if they like you. They'll try to do their best. But then some guys with that are into this philosophy, like this whole manosphere thing, they will be on some shit, especially if they got money. They be trying to get you. They be like, no, I want you barefoot and pregnant before we even have like our third date because you're hot. You're hot. You want these keys to this Lambo?
On the man's side, it's delusion. Because that's ridiculous.
No, it's wild. These dudes.
Now, I'm okay. If we were in 1960 and the houses still were $10, absolutely. There shouldn't be no fucking problem with everybody having the rules that they have. And when the fucking house is cost $500,000, listen, shorty,
We both gonna be doing this. We both gonna be doing that. We both gonna be going to work. We both gonna be. It's just how it has to be.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't have to be that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Right? You guys, your generation was able to understand where the money was in the internet before mine, because mine was still playing on the fucking internet.
But we created the platform.
Yeah, you guys were a part of. Man, there's some money attached to this shit. Let me go on eBay. In 2000.
Man, I wish I did that, man. Sean knows I was doing YouTube back in like 2007. I was doing YouTube. I used to go out with a camera, vlogging everything we did, yo. I was getting views too. I didn't even know what it meant. One of my videos, I took them all down, but I had a video that almost had 100,000 views on it back then. And I did a video like every couple of weeks or something, right? And I didn't have like a fan base. It was just like people finding it through the search. But I was sitting there like, damn, if I did this more consistently and built the platform, shit, I wouldn't be so working stiff right now. I wouldn't know none of y'all. Gosh, I was kidding.
I'd be in all the videos.
He'd be on the video. He'd be right there with me. This brother would have his own little thing going on, whatever. But not like all that
funny
stuff.
Thing. It's like you guys, and then the generation after us figured out where the money is. That's why there's so many fucking 20-year-old millionaires, right?
They all crypto scammers.
They're crypto scammers. They're agency owners. They're fucking, content creators or
Influencer pimps.
They have found. So it's my generation that kind of was playing on the internet too long and didn't really figure out where the money was. We were trying to date on MySpace,
Friendster and shit.
Yeah, it just. So I think my generation messed up. The generation before us figured it out. The Jeff Bezos and all these other guys, and the guy in straighthip-hop.com. You guys were in the right after the .com burst, and then reset it and said, okay, now we know where the money is. Now we saw what everybody did. It's like the guys who used to do the calling, when you get the call to talk to a chick and all that. Well, I forgot that movie that was about, and then they turned into a porn company where you could just and then the first
cam girls, the cam girls.
Yeah, the cam girls. Yeah, the first the debit transaction in that world was, I think, 2003, and it's like, that only took guys 3 years to figure that shit out.
Well, porn. Did we talk about some of this podcast? Or was it like porn people are the pioneers in technology, DVD,
technology,
AI now, all that stuff.
They were the ones.
Make tons of money,
and because of the emotional connection people have to having sex with girls virtually they'll never meet in real life. And that was the thing. Now OnlyFans has made that a lot closer. You have a lot more close proximity because these girls invite you to do content and whatever else. And so that's all that's changed, right? But I think truly, I think that it'll all burst way worse than we could ever imagine at some point. Because it's only
there's not enough. There's not enough. There's too many people with platforms. There's very little regulation. I think once social media platforms become a more regulated industry, like social media or internet becomes more regulated, you'll see these bubbles burst, because that means you could do less on these things. I commended OnlyFans for being such an innovative platform. Now they're starting to get into TV production, things like that. And that subscription basis for getting exactly the content that you want, because it's already out there, Netflix, Hulu, everything's in bits and pieces, right? That add up. It's funny, like all these things add up to exactly what you were paying for cable before.
That's right.
So you can buy Discovery Network, it's $5.99 a month. It all adds up. It's not really a scam. It's just redistribution of the way things that people get exactly what they want and subscribe to it. So that's just
and
the
you
way
can
it
see
is.
that coming. That a la carte was, it's going to be a thing.
You get it all. Wait, actually, we're hitting the 1 hour and 7 minutes.
So we get to Super Bowl.
So Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah,
The commentary.
Super Bowl, exactly that. I'm
gonna give my words on it real quick first. Kendrick had a great show where he brought up all of Drake's ex-girlfriends, including himself, to whine about him in anticipation for a song about pedophiles. And the rest of the show is kind of boring. I like the messaging around it. For the culture, of course, it was way over white people's heads. I don't think they'll get it until some conspiracy video breaks it down. I think President Trump went to the bathroom, took a big dump, came back
the same thing
at the end, because he had no, I didn't see any camera pan to him during any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he wasn't even there. He
I don't think
took halftime literal.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think he was there either. I think they would have probably shown him at some point. But yeah, I think did they show? I mean, first of all, the game was horrible. I mean, we start there. It was terrible. It was bad. It was bad. But did they show Trump at all during the Super Bowl?
He did the
just
salute.
in the beginning when he first came.
Yeah, they saluted.
Because I'm gonna say he might not have stayed at the game. To be honest, it might have just been he's showing up and then he leaves. The president's not necessarily going to sit and watch a whole football game just because it's Super Bowl. So I don't
especially
think he stayed
afterwards, it would have been crazy getting out of there.
Oh yeah. So I think it was probably just a walk through. Yeah. But to the performance, I think, and we've talked about this before. I'm not I respect Kendrick as an artist. I'm just not a Kendrick fan as far as like what I enjoy as far as lyrically and all that, and just like the sound and all that. So for me, I think as a rapper, it's probably more difficult to put on a live performance in such a place like the Super Bowl because there's so much production into that. So I think he did a good job about, producing a good show. The music, I'm just, I like Super Bowl's always very theatrical. And I remember in the past, you'd have multiple different artists that would kind of combine and come together. Now it's more like a solo show, which I don't know if I'm necessarily a huge fan of. I like kind of bringing some old, some new, Super Bowl used to kind of bring all that together. And now it's kind of just like a solo effort, which to me, whoever it is, I probably wouldn't have been that big of a fan of. So
Rihanna did a good job solo.
Well, no, Rihanna did great. She has got smash records though. She has.
That's true. She could hold her own.
Yeah.
What's his name? Go ahead.
Oh no, I feel like he still could have got his messaging across, even if he used older songs that were more well known. Just because it's like it's for the whole entire U.S. and you want to make everybody feel included. So I feel like a lot of people felt like, what are these songs? It's not a concert. It's the Super Bowl. It's different, right? So most people in the past always used hits. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he still could have got his message across about how Black people have been treated in America, even with his older songs that were more popular. But I think he did a great job. And I think it's dope that he brung SZA out to promote their new tour coming up and everything. So he know what he was doing in so many ways, but yeah,
but only like a handful of people understood what was going on there. And the people that kind of knew Kendrick kind of know him for the songs that, maybe what was the Be All Right and what was that stuff from Black Panther movie. Obviously Humble was that was his biggest record till Not Like Us. But what I did like the way he teased Not Like Us, but I also felt like, okay, now you're just really wearing this welcome out like with this song, like and it didn't make me feel like I wanted to hear it after number one, I'm not really a big fan of the song, but I also didn't like the fact that he teased it so many times, like it was the ultimate. And then when it came on, it was like, okay, we're here.
Serena's still in love with Drake. By the way.
Yeah, they all. No, that's the thing, man. Like it did look like it looked like a slumber party for petty ex-girlfriends, including Kendrick. Like because no, don't get it twisted. And I'm saying is, quote me word for word, Kendrick, Drake made you a star. He made you. He took you on his tour. He put you on records. You put him like on one of your biggest records. He made you a star. You went another direction, started going at him, whatever. It doesn't matter. You would not be the artist you are without the help of Drake and guys like Jay-Z and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's the other guys. Yeah.
But that again, everybody needs help. But you were given like a handout by the biggest artist of that gen, and his fans embraced you. They wouldn't have embraced you. Like Jay-Z doesn't do it anymore. Even Dr. Dre don't do it. Like as far as people, getting the old heads like me might embrace you the way we embraced Drake when Jay and Dr. Dre and all these guys started messing with him and Timberland. Remember that those days were like those guys were embracing Drake and we were like, oh, and we already liked Drake already, but those guys embracing him, Just Blaze and all that shit, producing for him made it cool. But not Drake took you and elevated you. Okay, I just want to make that clear. You going up there like somebody who got, like now that you're you're moved past that relationship, and now you're here, and now you're being petty and all this stuff while he's in Australia, and everybody's singing his songs word for word while everybody's looking at you crazy because you're performing songs some album named after a Pontiac or something. So it's like I don't. To me, it's a fall from grace, in my opinion. He the moment should have been taken where he can, like Lauren said, play the songs that people love from you and make a good set out of it. Maybe, bring out somebody other than your label mate who used to date your enemy, or the woman that used to date your enemy, and have her crip walking out there. Like it's weird. It's almost obsessive behavior. Like is he, he had somebody stalking Drake, going through his luggage and stuff, like all this stuff during the beat. Like, what is this guy's deal? Like, you know what I mean? And if Drake is he going to keep coming at him? Is he looking in Drake's window right now?
I think it's so. I think it's
I can only imagine what type of things that he's doing.
I think the performance. I mean, obviously, I have a true respect for the art form, and it's a W for hip hop. Now, personally, me, I don't like the dogpiling. I don't like that he allowed the moment that's supposed to cultivate his career and the things that he's done individually. I feel he made that moment about him instead of his 15 years in. That was trash to me. And I feel, again, I don't like the dogpiling, because at some point, you were the underdog.
Yeah.
You are the puppet. So now this shift is happening where people are wanting Drake to come back and get back on top. And that's because you've overdone it.
But do you think that was the plan? Like, did he not care? Like he didn't care. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he just wants to keep getting at Drake and
I don't think he cares. And I think that is where you lose sight, because you're so focused on sticking a fork in this nigga. He's done. This game over, nigga. It's like, bro, whenever you see a fight with a nigga that gets knocked out and the nigga that knocks him out just walks away, that's how you handle. You just knock his ass out. I'm done, nigga. I'm gone. I ain't got to stand in your face. I ain't got to try to go in your pockets. I ain't got to stab your bitch neck. I ain't got to do none of that. It's between me and you. I got the best of you. I knocked your ass out, and I'm gone. Now the camera's in your face, and I'm down the block. That's how you handle issues. And I feel like standing over the nigga's dead body and pissing on him in the grave, and then throwing his mother's ashes, taking the urine and throwing his mother's ashes on top of him. Then it's like, yo, bro, come on, man. Like, that don't make us want you to win more.
Yeah.
And I feel like you'll lose in the public perception doing all that shit. And it's already happening. It's already happening. It's already kind of shifting on Twitter. The thoughts of, damn, this nigga made this shit all about one nigga. He could have just kept all that.
But that's the narrative they'll give. There's underlying meanings to the performance. But I think a lot of you're performing in a majority white audience that does not understand any of this shit or care about it. They just want to sit there, listen to the songs that made them happy that they heard on their local radio station, and that's it. Play to that.
Again, he had hits that he could have made that crowd remember who he was, because they all probably heard him.
But there's no.
People have
probably didn't know it was him or whatever it may be, right?
Dog, you saw those clips? Did you see those clips? Those people were just staring around like, what's going? Oh, he's saying things too fast, mom.
Yeah,
like all that type of shit.
It's trash, and I feel like he just used that, personally. Obviously, it's a W for hip hop, W for Black folks cashing on opportunities and resources and network and all that stuff. But personally, I'm not necessarily a Kendrick fan. I could probably tell you 2 or 3 albums that good.
Record. Yeah, it's weird. Our generation's not really in tune with Kendrick like that.
I'm not.
I think Lauren probably is like the older end of the Kendrick fandom.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people I know are
my son
fans,
is my son is 11. Like my son likes Kendrick. He's 11. So
I used to like X Clan and shit too.
Focus rap and shit, bro. Like I came from Next Row. And I came from, my generation of rap, and the rappers that were in proximity to us.
Yeah.
Insane Clown Posse. If you're talking about all the way outside, but niggas that still have cult followings, Tech Nine, and all. Like this is, this is not who I listen to, but this is who are adjacent to the level of respect and career length that I expect. And I just have not been able to get into Kendrick Lamar's full career based on the music that he makes. And you
know what's funny? I did love that first album. I listened to it.
Yeah,
it was one of the last albums I listened to besides the Drake album.
Bumping Section 80 when I was in Cali. That's all niggas talk about.
What happened? Was it that stupid? What was the second album? The Butterfly, Pimp a Butterfly?
I don't know if that was the second one, but I do remember that.
What was the second album, Lauren? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
She don't even know. She a Kendrick fan.
No, I know. I'm not a huge fan.
Oh no, nobody's being like,
Nah,
about,
I don't.
Let me see what.
I would look it up, but I don't.
Y'all looking it up?
Overly dedicated Section 80.
That came out in like 2010, right?
Good Kid. Yeah.
That's 2012, 2013.
To Pimp a Butterfly was 2015.
Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly, right? Came out 2 years after. That's the one that everybody says like his magnum opus, his ultimate. I don't know one damn song off of that album.
I think Be All Right is on that album, right? Or no?
See, I had no clue.
King Kunta's on there. All Right, yeah. All Right's on there.
All Right is on there, and I don't know if that was Untitled or whatever. I don't know these goofy ass fucking games that these cats be playing. It's like, bro, just put your work out.
Yeah. Look. I don't want to. I do respect Kendrick as an artist. I'm not saying. I'm not that I'm even team Drake, because Drake has the same slime bullshit they keep talking about Drake. He's done to me personally and business wise. Not personally. Well, maybe he did. There was this girl I was talking to back then. He tried to slide on her in Toronto. So yeah, he did the same thing to me. So yeah, he did the same thing.
I say we can start naming names, but
I mean, I'm gonna say, because Sean knows what I'm talking about. Took the girl out to lunch, and I was like, "What is she?" She's like 20 at the time, 27, 20. Like he's like 18, 19. Like, what are you doing? And she's like my age, and this is when I went up to. I was staying at her house back then. This is a long time ago. So I was saying, and then like we all met up for dinner or something like that. And then she hits me up. This is after we stopped talking, and she was like, "Yo, like you gotta watch out for that Drake dude. He took me out. He said he took me out to lunch, and he was talking greasy about you. Like talking what? Like he was saying stuff about like he thought I wasn't a good manager for Nick and stuff like that, which is fine because I wasn't. I agree with him. So at that point, I'm like, whatever, that's cool. But I'm just like, he's sliding on. Like you can just see he's a grease ball when it comes to women. But understanding that.
Never got pussy till he got on. I mean, and that's
exactly, and that's the thing that you got you men who don't understand, never got respect from women and don't respect women that much and to begin with, do tend to treat women as these types and don't have the respect for relationships. His mother and father broke up, right? I think his father like cheated on her or something like that. So he doesn't understand the dynamics of having a stable relationship, or being with a stable relationship with a woman besides his mom maybe or whoever, because he was raised by women, his grandmother and his mother. Right, and
not to cut it short, but I gotta go raise my kid.
Oh, good. Yeah, man. We're about to wrap it up anyway.
Appreciate the opportunity, love the conversation, and we'll follow up afterward.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. Let me see. Oh, he removed himself. Let me drop back into the 3. Yeah. So, that being said, like that. Going back to the Drake, the Kendrick stuff. Sorry, we're going on a Drake tangent, but you can kind of see how that whole halftime performance centering around obviously the biggest record of Kendrick's career, but not really highlighting his accomplishments really kind of didn't sit well with me. And he could have, honestly, for the amount of time that he had to set this whole thing up, he could have put more thought into how he presented himself and maybe brought out some other talent that he was either featured on. Like, you would have been amazing if he brought out Taylor Swift to do the record that they did together. I just thought about that. She was there. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? The crowd would have went bananas. Yeah. Even though the team was losing. Yeah. I would have was like, I would have like, that's a trip. Because you gotta think about something when it comes to entertainment. And this is why Drake is gonna keep winning. He's playing the sad, like you saw him come out with the bullet holes and the hoodie, and he's out there enjoying his life. He knew what he was doing when he set up this tour. He set up a tour in Australia, right? The arenas aren't huge, so they're gonna sell out. How many times does he go to Australia? Once every 5-10 years? Yeah, they're gonna sell out every show. Everybody's gonna go crazy. He's making a highlight reel. Did you see how many highlight reels he put out so far? Like the crowd singing every word for word, all this stuff. He's sitting there smoking hookah, doing private shows with all these pretty women, all this stuff, having lunch with all the dignitaries and things. He's living it up in Australia. Kendrick over here singing songs about him at Super Bowl halftime. It makes it look like he's like on top of the game still. Everybody's still talking about me. And that's where it's all like, you know, it's gonna when everything settles down and he comes out with his new music on Friday.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna listen.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I'm gonna listen. I want to see what
listen.
we got.
Yeah.
I want to hear the sexy album that they're putting out, Party Next Door. Now I want to hear some Drake, you know, singing again and doing all this stuff. There might be some bangers. So I'm gonna make that the soundtrack to my Valentine's Day weekend. With my wife. Now and we'll talk about it next week. Okay? So you got homework. Listen to the album. But like, there's so much. You know, I think for him it's just smart. And Kendrick, he's just gonna keep doing whatever he does. Will he ever throw another shot at Drake? I don't know. Do you think he's gonna get back at Drake at some point and say something during the course of this?
I don't think so. I think he realizes. No, I think he realizes just to move on at this point. You know, the Grammys, the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just kind of like just move on. I think everybody's pretty. I mean, he's probably at this point exhausted from it. So I don't think there'll be any more back and forth.
I hope they're done.
You do?
They're done. Yeah, it's a new year. Like let's.
Yeah,
it's bigger.
You know they're gonna throw subliminals. There's gonna be subliminals on records, but it'll go back. That's what it was for years, though.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And I don't think anybody said anything direct. And really, it's gonna be up to Kendrick to spark another fire if he wants to.
But I don't think he will. I
mean, he got what he got out of it. He had a big record at a moment, and that's all he gets. And that's. I mean, look. He incredible career. This guy. But I feel like, you know. You're not bigger than Drake. That's and I think we make that conversation happen. I think Kendrick knows this. I don't the whole thing about culture. I see room for both of them in the culture. I'm not mad at Drake making, you know, what's his name? Vibes Cartel made a good point. He did an interview recently. He was saying like, look, kids in Jamaica are not singing Kendrick Lamar songs on the corner, right? Because Kendrick doesn't do records in the same melody as our people are. Like that's what Drake does. That he'll put on a little patois and you know get on a dance hall rhythm or whatever.
Yeah.
Kendrick, you know, will you know doesn't. You know, he kind of doesn't conform to norms or anything. He just is a rapidy rap guy, puts songs together or whatever. But Drake, he'll get on a reggaeton song. He'll get on a bachata song. He'll get on a country song and try to emulate what he's, you know, fit in. And that's a good and a bad thing because you're so big, you should have people fitting into your sound or trying to fit in. There's some music commentator said this. Like, why aren't you having... Like you have Bad Bunny on your album, but you're making a Bad Bunny record. You're not making a Drake record. You should try to get Bad Bunny to be more like you. I could see that, but at the end of the day, bro, Drake is Drake, and everybody's trying. Like, there's so many artists that try to be like Drake. So why does he? I like the way he experiments with sounds. I like the way he takes you know different artists and fits into their lane, and then pops back into his lane. And when he's in his lane. You know what kind of records we get, bro. You know that. You're like, yo, bro, we grew up on those. All of us here grew up on them joints. So we was out in the streets when Marvin's Room came on or started from the bottom. That's Drake, right? Like regardless of who wrote the record or not, that is Drake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I agree.
That's all good. Anywho, it's been a wonderful episode. Thank you, Octavian, for joining. Lauren, I saw some of the topics here. I mean, I did Summer Walker. I know who Summer Walker is. Do I give a fuck about her boyfriend? I don't know. Nah. Is that like?
Well, it was a clip.
What is this?
She you know it's Valentine's Day and you know how the boyfriends they do up the room and be like, "Will you be my Valentine's?" Balloons and flowers. So I just brought that topic up just because that and then she always has a new boyfriend like every other month it seems like. I'm being
wild, she
dramatic
wild.
right now, but she already has she has a kid with London on the track, and then she has like twins with somebody else, and then she was dating Meech
got a lot of-
from BMF, and now she has a new boyfriend. So people are like, I hope you really just settle down this time because you got a lot going on. So
I never knew she
That
was
was
that
that.
like out there in the streets.
right, it's because she's a lover girl. You know, like a lot of her music, she's an R&B singer, so she sings about love, and it makes sense. But it's like, okay, like why you can't find love because you sing about it so much. So
Oh, that's why she sings about like the best artists
Yeah.
live in their just wallowing their
Right.
sorrows about things. That's in Summer
Exactly.
Walker. Oh. Anyway,
Yeah.
RP where we got there's a lot. Oh, a lot we didn't even Yeezy. Yeah, we talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
the halftime shows. Even half. Oh no, we did cover everything.
Yeah.
Oh, people getting killed for Jordan 5s. That's amazing. Crazy. I got a pair of those. Hopefully nobody shoots me for them. Anywho, that's a wrap. Check us out next
All right.
week. All right, bye.
All right.
All right,
Peace.
bye.